Hey, 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 hey. Hey, everybody. Hey, 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 hey. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It is, what's this? Thursday. Let me get some lotion. Oh, I didn't bring any. It is Thursday afternoon. Hey, everyone. Hey, Marie. Hey, Just Me. Hey, Royalty. Hey, Valerie. Good to see everyone. It is Wednesday afternoon. It's a sunny afternoon here in Arizona. How's it going on the East Coast? So it's 4 o'clock on the East Coast, West Coast, and 7 o'clock on the West Coast. And I hope this live finds you guys well. If you're new to my channel, my name is Melissa, and I am the host of this live. And as I always say, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel. Welcome to the Facebook side of the house. And just like I said, make sure that you subscribe. But most importantly, don't just subscribe, become involved, be a part of the conversation. You'll see as the video progresses, as the stream progresses, you'll see I'll drop questions. People have questions for me. And that's just what we do. So it's a very interactive live. And that's one thing that I like about my channel. But before I go into the topics that I have, and then whatever it is that y'all want to talk about, let's do our shout outs and our hello. So Valerie was the first one in. She said, hey, Melissa. Hey, Valerie. And I saw your message yesterday about missing the live. Life happens, y'all. The live will be here. I will be here. The playback will be here. So I understand that life happens. And so sometimes I'm not even able to go live because life happens. But I also understand that you won't always be able to be here. But that still doesn't make me your favorite. I get it. So definitely don't worry about it. Hey, Royalty Queen. Good to see you again. Thank you for always supporting my channel and being here bright and early, ready to rock and roll and participate. Hey, Just Me, Mod Extraordinaire. Good afternoon. Good evening. Hey, Marie Gary, good to see you. Good evening, Joanne. It's so good to see you. I think the last time I saw you was maybe about Monday, I think, 3 lives ago, but I definitely missed you. And make sure you hit me up, Facebook, however, and let me know where you're at in your projects as far as what your platform and what you're doing. I know I saw something about you having a, I don't want to say consultation, but something that you're starting, and it wasn't necessarily your channel. But anyway, keep me posted on what you're doing because I think you started something new. I just don't know where to go to it. So let me know. I don't know where to find it. Hey, everyone. Hope everyone is having a blessed day so far. Yes, today is a blessed day. It's always a blessed day, even when it's the most horrible things that can happen to us. You can always just find a blessing. Okay, Hair. Tell her I didn't forget about her. I was gonna Cash App you. Text me your Cash App. If she has one, text me her Cash App. But happy birthday, Nanny Baby. Looking grown. Blessed Reborn. Hello, Thursday afternoon, Wednesday. Thank you. I knew that. But it is what it is with the brain and how it works. But I knew that because yesterday was trash day. Anyway, hey, Ruby King. Hello, everyone. Hello. So how y'all doing? Are we eating dinner right now? What are we doing? What are y'all doing? Me personally, I'm sipping on some coffee and chatting with y'all. But are you guys cooking? Are you guys eating already? Still at work, on the drive home? Let me know. So as we get started with that, I have like a whole lineup of stuff that has happened since Tuesday, or stuff that even I wanted to talk about before Tuesday, but I wanted Tuesday to happen. So if you're sitting here and like, okay, what happened on Tuesday? What's this Tuesday live? Tuesday was part 2 of a conversation that we had stemming from this picture. If you notice, this picture is dealing with a lot of labor positions and single mothers that are birthing, couples with doulas, without help or whatever. But when I was scrolling through somewhere and I saw that picture, and it sparked an idea to have a conversation. And so that's what we were discussing in a previous video a couple of weeks ago. just talking about giving birth to the life that we want. And one of the things that we talked about was getting in position. And that's what this picture was really about, getting in position. Well, then I think on Monday or Tuesday, we talked about, okay, now that we're in position to give birth, we had a great discussion about where all of us were at in our journey for birth in the life that we want. Some of us were feeling pressure to push. Some of us are still trying to find their position. So if you haven't caught that live, make sure you catch that playback, because there was a lot that was said. And I want to touch bases tomorrow, probably not tomorrow, because I love Foolishness Friday. So but maybe not tomorrow, but I definitely will come back and have this conversation about support and community support and dream killers and all of that. I wanted to park there, but it was just so much other conversation that we had. So we will go back to that part, because that was very significant. A lot of you had very good input. So yeah, we'll talk about that. Finishing up dinner, and I know how your dinners look. So yeah, that's going to be good. I haven't even started. I know what we're going to have. So it's just a matter of finishing up this live and doing it. But, the kids are doing sports, as y'all know, after school. The girl goes back to school because they run so late because it's so hot here. So they're not running directly after school. So it's just a schedule. It's just a different schedule, child. A different schedule. So, geez, y'all, so much has been going on in these internet, political, religious streets. And so, like I said, I came in, as I always do, with some topics that I want to talk about. And if there's something after we discuss that, or if something pops up that's interesting, we'll land there. April pops in. Hey, everyone. Hey, April, we're just getting started. Welcome to my channel. If you're just popping in with April, or you're catching the playback, leave a comment down below. Leave me a hey, Melissa, because if nothing else, I will definitely answer the hey, Melissas and all of that. So let's get started. So breaking news today. Breaking. Let me remove that comment. Breaking news today. Britney Spears' father decides to step down as her conservative. Let me know if you are happy that this is happening. Let me know your thoughts. As I'm getting the comments in, as usual, I'll just give my commentary. I was actually surprised. That Jamie Spears decided to just know when to fold them, know when to walk away. And because he's been her conservator for about 13 years over her money, said to be really strict and really hell-bent on being her conservator. So I was very excited to hear that this case is very strange. And we've discussed this in previous videos. When you know anything about conservatorship and, having that power of attorney over people and their finances and stuff, it's just this is a weird case. Superstar says, why did Britney need a conservator in the first place? I'm just curious. That's why this is a weird situation. Typically, people need conservatorship because they're deemed incompetent. Britney has never been deemed incompetent. That's what's so weird. Allegedly, people that have been fighting for her, she's been fighting for herself. She's still able to go on tour, make these people money, do all this stuff. But, they just felt the need to have the conservatorship. So I think it's going to come out that either this is my theory. I think it's going to come out that he either knew the judge or something, because she has never been granted incompetent, which is really weird. Because when they had the trial 2-3 weeks ago, a month ago or whatever, and it wasn't necessarily a trial, the court hearing, I'll say, when they had the court hearing, that's one of the things that came out. Britney testified, other people testified, and like they said, if she's competent enough to continue to work, continue to spend her money, have vacations, make them money and everything, she should have ownership of her money. I'm not sure if it stemmed from Britney Spears, the shaving of the head and all those things. But again, she was never found incompetent. So I think as she gains ownership, as she gains her voice back, we're going to find out more about how this happened. And it may not be something that's legit, or we'll see who connected who and who approved what. This is going to be very, very interesting. And it may be a matter of where she's deemed crazy. And then, like I said, there's some influence on the courts, and someone in the court system just kind of believes someone else. And that just happened, which reminds me, y'all. Let me go through the comments, because I did not know about this other case. And y'all gonna be like, Melissa, you didn't know about that? No, I didn't. I don't know what planet I was on or whatever, but I'll tell you the story in a minute. I'm in labor and delivery room trying not to cuss folk out. They talking about push, child. Right now I'm tired and trying to catch my breath. Come on. I got a visual and I understand. Girl, you still laboring. And you know what? I feel like that's when you really, really need a lot of support. You need a lot of positive energy. You need a lot of positive reinforcement. You need the back rubs and all of that. Just when you're in labor, you found your position and you're trying to get this thing out, but people trying to push you to push. And so that's so good. So good. Y'all, we're going to continue this conversation. The things that came out the other day about just what we shared with each other and our positions and all of that. That's why I like this channel. We're able to iron sharpen iron, but pour into each other. I'm not the only one that comes with the positivity and the good words and everything. Like, you guys come with it. And so we will visit this again. Hey, lady. Hey, Shannon. Why did Britney Spears need a conservator in the first place? So yeah, that's my take on it. I personally think if she was never found to be incompetent, then it was a manipulation thing. Someone was able to manipulate the courts some kind of way. And even if it was exploiting the fact that she was shaving her head doesn't constitute incompetency. You know, just because someone even has a mental breakdown doesn't make them incompetent for 13 years. Something's going to come out of this. Hello, everyone. Hey, Madelle, it's so good to see you. Maybe it was after the breakdown that she had. Yes, they did talk about the breakdown a little bit, but like I said, shaving your head, having a breakdown, perfect example that just came to my mind. Martin Lawrence. Remember when Martin Lawrence, whatever year that was, running down the street in California, just had, we think he had a breakdown. He still was able to have ownership of his life and his finances. The story that's going to come out of this with Britney Spears is going to blow our minds, I think, but also blow the legal system. This was a disservice, I think, of the legal system. It was abuse of the legal system. I also think, because if she has not been deemed incompetent, and here's the thing. Think about, that's a Raven, the star. His name's not Omar. I can look it up if I want to. But the child actor, he ended up, geez Louise. Anyway, he was going live or whatever. And everybody was like, okay, he is not okay. He is not okay. He's still over his own finances. And he's still not, there's so many stories that we could think of, people that are really flipped out, but they still weren't deemed incompetent. So it's just going to be interesting. And to me, the fact that she had enough cognitively if she had enough cognitively to be able to realize this isn't right and has been fighting it for 13 years, that tells me that she did have some sense about herself. So I'm happy that Jamie stepped down for sure. Or did it happen after she shaved her head? Again, shaving, like, I literally will go in the bathroom and shave my hair, cut my hair, weave it the next, whatever. That doesn't deem me incompetent. Like, it takes so much to prove that someone's incompetent. So we'll see. Hey, Sunshine. Hello, Wanda. Hey, Thursday. Hey, beautiful people. Hey, Toya. Or Orlando. Yes, Orlando. Yeah. So you understand what I'm saying? So he's still on his own doing that. So after she had that last hearing, there were a lot of lawyers and commentators that know more than I do about the legality of the situation. And they said her case is very, very abnormal. And these are from lawyers and people that this is what they do. They were saying that her case is so abnormal. The fact that she was not found to be medically incompetent, mentally incompetent, it just made the whole thing strange. I think we all assumed that there was some sort of label for her that she was established, deemed incompetent or whatever. I think we all assumed that 12, 13 years ago, or even today. But when I found out at the last hearing that no, she there's nothing wrong with her, I was like, oh, this makes it even interesting. So yes, Orlando Brown. Like, there's so many stars that I can name and think of. Hell, even us in our own states where we may have been had a manic episode, not necessarily that you're manic or that you're bipolar, but in other words, there's been situations where we lost our cool, where we might have been like, okay, she has lost her mind. That doesn't mean that at that point, oh, she's deemed incompetent. Not necessarily. Nope. But having said that, y'all did not tell me about Miss Gypsy Rose. Gypsy Rose, right? Listen, leave a comment down below. Y'all know I whisper when I'm really, really into the tea. Y'all didn't tell me about that. Let me tell you what happened. Yesterday, I'm scrolling through one of the streaming platforms that we have, and I see this weird looking little girl, what I thought was a little girl, but it was talking about Gypsy Rose. And I was like, let me see what this is about. And my cousin was behind me. She was eating behind, whatever. She was behind me. She was in the same room. And she was like, you don't know about Gypsy Rose? And I was like, no, I don't know about Gypsy Rose. Oh my goodness. I started watching this documentary about Miss Gypsy Rose and her mother, Dee Dee. Mouth dropped wide open. Like, I could not believe the level of sickness of her mother, but also the fact that I didn't know about it. Girl, listen, I should know about it. So let me tell you what it is. I don't want to ruin it for you. But Gypsy Rose is she's an adult right now. But what, 2015, whatever the year was, Gypsy Rose's mother had Munchausen by proxy. If you don't know what that is, she basically faked all these diseases. So Joanne said, child, what happened? I should know this, but I don't. Girl, don't know. I don't know what I was doing when this made headline news, because I'm nosy. So I know I should know about this. I don't know. No, I did not know why I didn't know about this. So I click play. They start describing this little girl, Dee Dee, Gypsy Rose. Her full name isn't Gypsy. But I'm so mad y'all didn't tell me about this. So I'm gonna blame y'all too. So my cousin, I was so in shock. I'm gonna get to the story. But I was so in shock at what I was watching. My cousin was laughing at me reacting to the show because she was like, your commentary is hilarious. I was like, yep, that's why I do reactions for a living. Anyway, Superstar says she's seen it on Lifetime. This was on Peacock, I want to say. And it was documentary based, telling the whole story. Bottom line, Dee Dee gives birth to this little girl, completely healthy little girl. From birth to the moment that girl turned around and killed her mom, Dee Dee was making up different diseases. Y'all, by the time it was, so this girl, she talked like this. And she didn't let her go to school after a certain point. So cognitively, she was very, very retarded in the sense of, again, I know we don't use that term to talk about disabilities. I mean, slow. So here's the caveat. I'm a word person. Retarded, a song can be made retarded. That means you slowed it down. That's all, y'all. She's slow. But Gypsy talked like this, and she's a funny looking little girl. But I think she was funny looking because her mom stunted her growth. Come to find out, by the time this girl turned, I don't want to give the age, but she was like 23, 24. She told them, throughout the years, she got, of course, and it was for money, but also Munchausen's, I think it's attention and money for those people. By the time she was arrested, or by the time she became an adult, this little girl's body basically was mutilated in one way or another. Not gruesome, like you're not going to see it mutilated in that way, but that girl had a feeding tube. Was it nothing wrong with her? And her mother convinced doctors. And so what she would do, she told people the little girl had MS. Girl, she had GoFundMe on lock, Make-A-Wish, Disney World trips, you name it. She shaved the little girl's hair, told the little girl that she had, she told the little girl she had cancer, so she may as well shave her hair. So she shaved her hair. When they went to the doctor, it was always mother's report. Always mother's report. If you know anything about medical history and stuff like that, diagnosing children, typically mother's report works for what, 4 and under or 6 and under, because the kid can't really describe what's going on. But that she would tell the girl to go inside during the doctor's appointments, play with your Barbie doll. She would get a Barbie doll. So here's this girl playing this role. Because if she didn't, the mother would hit her, abuse her, and stuff like that, allegedly, according to what Gypsy Rose said. Y'all, I'm sitting here watching this like, are you kidding me? So and what got me was, here's this 20-some-odd little girl, and she just is like this in a wheelchair, and I'm like, I know you lying. Nope. So my cousins reacted to my reaction, to reacting to these lady. She, like I said, feeding tube, how extreme, feeding cabinet full of medicine, going on radio stations, touring, meeting people, fan clubs, all this other stuff. And what else did she do that I want to put? So she, and so there was one doctor who was kind of on her trail, but Dee Dee was like, nope, we're not going there. She's cardiology problems. She had this girl doing a CPAP machine at night, y'all. Like, I was like, what the heck? Like, the girl had a CPAP machine, a feeding tube, all this crazy stuff. So it's one thing to have Munchausen's and have your kid pretend to have all this stuff, but it's one thing to me to actually mutilate your child's body with a G-tube, a feeding tube, all this other stuff. And again, mentally, this girl, she talks like this, and she played the role. So at one point in the as I'm watching, I'm like, you know what? I don't blame Gypsy, but I was like, she was playing the role. She knew what she needed to do to play her role. Girl, at one point, Gypsy Rose was doing a video because, of course, going live, doing videos and stuff gets them the attention, gets them the money that they need or whatever. Gypsy is on the side of their front porch, and the mom propped her out her wheelchair. This sent me over. Puts her on the railing. Down on the bottom of the railing is snow, pile of snow. Gypsy, okay, guys, I'm gonna jump. 1, 2, 3. Gypsy Rose jumps inside the snow. She laughs. Now, again, she done shaved her hair off. She looks like a cancer patient, alopecia, the whole 9. Girl, why did Gypsy Rose begin to try to scoot herself? She was holding onto her legs like her legs did not work to get back up on the darn wheelchair. I was done. Done. As I'm sitting here, I'm like, why didn't I know that this lady either got killed or I don't know where I was. I don't know. So I was sitting there, and by that time I'm like, I want to go live and talk to my friends about this, because I know I'm not the only one who didn't know about this story. So Gypsy Rose, she tried to run away one day as she got a little older, but she was still playing a part. Still, and again, it was more so her not playing a part, but her mother telling her she had these things. And when she took her to the doctor, it was sheer parent report. Like, Gypsy, she told her, play with your Barbie doll, play with your stuffed animal. You sit in this wheelchair and you don't say anything. So they didn't know the child could talk or anything, y'all. Well, one cardiologist got on to her, and they were like, her legs had full muscle tone. Because, if you're paralyzed and you're not using your legs, your muscle tone is next to nothing. She had all muscle tone, and he wrote that in her notes. Well, of course, Dee Dee, the mom, found out about it, and she didn't take her back to the cardiologist. Y'all, she gets a little older, adolescence or whatever, and she begins to like this dude. Or I forgot how the story goes, but some kind of way the dude was like, just run away with me. Gypsy Rose runs away, goes to the guy. The guy, she was able to be away for like 3 hours before the mom found her, because Gypsy said that they had mutual friends, and someone must have told the mom that Gypsy Rose ran away with the guy. Y'all, I was done. So she went back. She smashed her computer, her laptop, her phone, and everything, and said if she ever do it again, she gonna smash her. Gypsy Rose don't have no teeth. She's wearing dentures. Y'all could tell how I'm telling this. I was done. Like, I was like, this is so sick. So let's age her up a little more. Girl, Gypsy said, listen, you're not going to stop this. You're not going to stop the bag. So she met this other guy. So here she is in her 20s now. Some kind of way she met this guy online or whatever, or met him through the city. But no, it had to be online because he wasn't from there. So Gypsy Rose and him, she said Cinderella was coming out, and she made it so that she can convince her mom to take her to Cinderella, but she was going to see that dude. Y'all, why Gypsy Rose go to see Cinderella? I still don't know how she got away from her mom, but she snatched the boy in the boys' bathroom, did what she needed to do, however she needed to do. Gypsy got her gypsy on, and then she wheeled her tail right back. In my head, this is what she did. But I don't know, because to me, I don't see how Dee Dee let her out her sight for that movie. Anyway, wheeled her behind back up to that seat and act like she didn't do nothing. Gypsy was doing her thing. They're sitting in the movie theater. Dee Dee's like, he's a weirdo. Why is he in here? There's no children in here. I mean, he doesn't have any children, anything. Who is he in here for? And she's sitting there like, he in here for me because he Gypsy, my Gypsy, okay? Man, listen, I was hollering. Okay, fast forward, the same guy. He claims to be schizophrenic and have all these multiple, these personalities. And she began to sext him and everything else when the mom was going to sleep at night. So Gypsy starts to feel herself and feel life and feel like a 20-something-year-old. And Gypsy said, listen, you're not going to be around here having me looking like I'm a cancer patient. I'm about that life. She finds love. They start plotting to kill the mother. Text messaging. They showed us the text messages between the two. He was planning on having sex with the mother after she passed away as well. Long story short, the boy comes in the middle of the night. He told Gypsy, you better make your way in that bathroom and don't come out. Gypsy went in the bathroom. He kills the mother. Child. They run away to Minnesota to where she's dead. They run away to Minnesota. You see live footage of them all in the bus station, giddy, just excited that they did whatever, what they did to the mother. His mother picks them up from the bus. Y'all are all into this. Yeah, she found a guy online. Y'all into this. I need to do more reactions, huh? Gypsy, the mom picks them up from the bus station, and she's like, well, what's going on? Like, who is she? Because she heard that the story that she was told was that Gypsy was homeless, and the mom really didn't care for her or whatever. So she thought the whole thing was strange, just out the blue. Here he is coming home with this girl. Fine. Y'all, why they had sense enough to mail the murder weapon and the cloth, put it in a manila shipping folder, like it was, I don't know, a book from eBay, child. Sent it to the house, sent it to Minnesota. I said, this is a mess. This is crazy. Sent it to Minnesota, open up the package. You got the knife, you have the cloth, everything. How did they end up getting caught? I think they just put two and two together because they had the cloth, they had the text messages and stuff like that. They end up getting first arresting the boy. Well, they put them both in custody and was interviewing them or whatever. And what was even more shocking is you're sitting there and you're listening to the police officer interview the boyfriend, and he was talking like they was over coffee. He was like, yeah, I killed her, but Gypsy wanted me to kill her. Like, it was so casual, just like, yeah, I did what I did. But y'all, I'm so mad y'all ain't tell me about Gypsy Rose. That blew my mind. And I think for me, it blew my mind the lengths that the mother went to make this child look sick, but also to mutilate her body. Like a tube, her teeth were messed, a CPAP machine. Girl, stop. Dee Dee was something else. Well, she killed Dee Dee. Gypsy Rose ended up getting 10 years. She had to do the 10 years before she's eligible for parole. So she is eligible for parole 2024, I want to say. What an interesting story. And I just don't know how I didn't hear that on breaking news back in the day. I don't know. Let's go through the comments. At least I think it was on Lifetime. I know I've seen something like that on there before. Yes, they do have a few Munch houses by proxy cases, but usually it's kid in wheelchair or but not feeding tube and CPAP and the medications and all of that. Man, my mind was blown. I was like, man, there's some sick people in this world. I knew someone with that condition. She used her kid's illness for sympathy, attention, and status. Wow. But blessed, were they actually sick? Because that's the intricacy of Munch houses by proxy. The kids aren't sick. So if they're legit sick, that's a different type of Munchausen's crazy. That's what is it, hypochondria or whatever. But that's not hypochondria. But this was a perfectly healthy child. I remember hearing something about this some years ago. Listen, did she get married or have a boyfriend? She had a boyfriend, Ruby, and he's in jail. She's in jail. Superstar Graham is laughing. Yeah, Gypsy found that guy online, baby. She found him. Crazy. I saw that movie. Let me see if I can find a picture of Gypsy, because that's what made me stop as I was scrolling to see, okay, what I want to watch right now. What made me stop was just how Gypsy looked. And I'm not one to talk about people's looks in the sense of, oh, you're ugly, you're this, that, and the other. But when you see what I'm saying, Gypsy just kind of looked a little weird. And I think she looked weird because here's this mom trying to play her off to be some little 7-year-old adolescent type person. Child, look at this foolishness. I can't. Had to poach out, teeth out, everything. Gypsy, this the boyfriend. He was crazy too. Cray. I hate to say the word crazy because I don't. He had mental illness. He was crazy. Here she is right here. I'm trying to find a picture where they had, like I said, shave her head and everything. Which reminds me, that's a good segue into, let me see if I can find, nope, not that. This story, here it is. After raising $200,000 to avoid eviction. So Bless, this is probably what something like this is what you're talking about. Vegas mother, in quotations, admits she's not the mother of the 3 kids. Y'all. Same type of sickness, same type of foolishness, using kids for your foolishness and mayhem. That's the same thing. Her mom was a whole mess, y'all, a whole mess and a half. And you know what? This lady is no different. This lady raised $200,000 to avoid eviction, and talking about these are her children. And come to find out, these are not her children. And since I printed that article or selected that article, it has come out. Tasha K, shout out to her. I think did an interview with the actual mother of the kids. And, she says that she was exploited and all this other stuff. So this happens. And I'm going to tell you the number one place that I have found that stuff like this happens a lot is in the church. It happens a lot. I remember there was someone... Melissa, you did a documentary in about 10 minutes. Listen, I don't play. I do have some reaction videos. That's one of the things that I used to do, is react to certain things. And I do. If it's something that's really, really exciting, I'll give you a reaction video right then and there. But I was mind blown by Miss Gypsy Rose. And the same thing with the situation that I just shown you. I find that in the Black church, I hate to say it this way, I don't know how else to say it, but respectfully, in the Black church, the Black church is so easy to scam because people are looking to help. We're looking to be a blessing to people, and people know that. And so I've seen people pretend to be mentally ill. I've seen people pretend to be pregnant forever. People pretend to be homeless and everything to pull at the heartstrings of people in the Black church. Absolutely. The kid was sick, but she exaggerated his condition and his age. She would come into work saying she was up all night with her sick baby. Her son was a teenager. Stop. Wow. Hey, Lakeisha, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by again, girl. We're on our first subject. What were we talking about? We were talking about before we got to Gypsy Rose. But anyway, we started talking about Gypsy Rose because y'all did not tell me how crazy Miss Dee Dee Blanchard was. And I found this documentary yesterday and I watched it and was just mind blown that a mother could do that. Now, I understand there's some sort of illness and sickness surrounding that. But for me, the concerning part was the pretending is one thing, but the mutilation of your child's body. And Gypsy, when she was arrested, they took the feeding tube out and that needed to heal. That needed she needed to heal from that. And I'm like, this is crazy. So that segued us into into this conversation about this mother who admitted that these aren't her kids. People can be desperate times. I understand. Desperate times calls for creativity and all of that. I would rather see you legitimately go strip or do whatever you need to do than scam people. But, here we are. We're living in the digital age. Money can be transferred immediately to people. Speaking of money being transferred, if you're blessed by my channel, have been blessed by my channel, I'm going to do a shameless plug that I don't do all the time. Don't forget that I have these super chats and super stickers to show your love and appreciation to your girl. But what's absolutely free is your subscription. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm serious, but y'all know that I don't do this for that. But I do like the subscribers and I do like the interaction. That's more important to me. So let's see. She wanted attention from the coworkers and managers and wanted folks to do her work for her. Yep, I've worked with someone like that and I wasn't doing it. So especially when we were all supervisors, like we can't be on a level of supervisory and supervisory status and supposed to be the leaders in the company, and then you basically shammed your way into this interview, and so now everybody got to do your work. Absolutely not, Melissa. Not carrying my case and your cases, not doing it. So the Black church, I find, church period, I'll say it that way, but I've only seen it because that's all I know, generally speaking, is church period is one of the places that really, really get scammed. It's so easy because we are a culture. If your church is worth its weight in gold, we are the culture of come as you are. Come to church with your problems. We'll care for you. And people exploit that. And what I was saying is money can be transferred immediately. Like you can transfer money with the blink of an eye between transferring Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Apple Pay, whatever. Money can be transferred so immediately. And people make up all these stories and everything to gain sympathy and to gain money. And so how do you protect yourself? What do you do to protect yourself financially online? As far as, being a blessing to your favorite YouTubers and stuff like that, influencers, online influencers, as well as people just in general online. I have not had, thankfully, knock on wood, I have not had anyone come to my inbox. So I'm still rising up. I think one of the telltale signs of you making it is someone coming with a sad story in the sense of wanting something. Now I've gotten sad stories, but I haven't gotten, hey, can you help me? I'm homeless or whatever. And one thing that I see that YouTubers that are larger than me or Facebookers or people that are doing what I do, one thing that I see is that they've gotten burned at one point or another. And so they don't give any money out. So what do you do to protect your money? Not necessarily, if you're not an influence, do you just, give stars, hearts, super chats, or whatever to just anybody willy-nilly? No offense to anybody. I'm not trying to be funny, but I do see that whatever you guys are doing, it absolutely works. Because I know my subscribers that, in other words, I get super chats and stuff like that, but it's not superfluous. Like it's not, and it's probably because it's not something that I talk about very often. Like I may talk about my super chats and super stickers shoot, every 6 videos. And then I totally forget about Cash App and all of that because, that's not why I do this. She wanted attention. Yes. And so when you talk about this, there is exploitation that's happening, and the people do want attention. And sometimes they want money because, like I said, Dee Ruby Rose's mom, she got Disney trips, house renovated for a wheelchair. Like, she got it made. Hello, everyone. Hey, Pam. Hey, Monica. Y'all, we're talking about a few things. So jump on in. So if you're just joining into the live, my name is Melissa Barron. If you don't know who I am your host. And we're just getting into the conversation about some things. Make sure if you're on the Facebook side of the house that you like and share this video. If you are on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button. YouTube, you have a little bit more instructions. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you comment as we are talking and stuff. And that's for Facebook and YouTube. But hit the subscribe button. It's absolutely free. And the notification bell will tell you when I go live, but I'm pretty consistent. So you'll be able to predict, okay, she's going live. So no conversation about the Vegas mom. You guys really must not either you exhaust the conversation about that, but we can move on. No biggie. What else? I printed out a few things that I've been wanting to bring to the platform to discuss. What's this? So this is a hot topic because it's in our face. It has been in our face for almost 2 years now. And I don't think that COVID has gone anywhere. COVID isn't going anywhere. It's still here, but the different variants are out, and we have so many mandates, no mandates, whatever. So I found this, and it says my fall plans, the variant versus the Delta. Let me add myself. So that's the next thing we could talk about. So far we have 2 things going. We have the Gypsy Rose Munchausen's by proxy conversation. Then we were talking about just people capitalizing and being manipulative and scamming the Black church or just people in general online for money. How do you protect yourself from that? And then this. So the Vegas mom is a scammer. She this isn't actually, those even aren't her kids. She pretended that these were her kids so that she can get money, and she ended up raising $200,000 from people. Come to find out, those are not her children. And I was just, moving the conversation a little bit forward, just talking about how online that is so easy to do nowadays. Everything is available. We can make up any type of story. And I want to know how you guys are protecting yourself from these type of fraudulent practices. What is it that you do to make sure that your coins are going where you know that they go? Well, for me, the first thing that I do when I see a story like that, as far as let's find her and put her back up. When I see a story like this, or a GoFundMe or whatever, I investigate. Not gonna lie to you, anybody else. If someone says, hey, this is going on, unless I actually know the situation is legit and I know the person, I research. It's so easy to do. I'm going to tell you, one of the weirdest things that I also see a pattern of is people claiming that the children are missing. And then they'll turn the page private, or the page will stay up, but then there's no activity on the page and they don't update you. And then, people are like, okay, were they found? Were they not? And then maybe 2 days later, oh, they were found or whatever. So Sunshine says no cash to distribute, so it never happens to me. Nope, me either. I believe in, if an influencer is talking right, giving out great information, growing their channel, they're doing a service. It's something that I can see. Hey, y'all, I'm believing God to buy this microphone, blah, 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 blah. Donate to this. Or just they're awesome at what they're doing. I don't have a problem doing that. I don't have a problem, doing a super chat or super sticker or whatever for stuff like that. But as far as here's my sad story, and I'm going to inbox you and tell you I have this sad story and send me all this money, that will not happen to me. Absolutely not. Unless I know them firsthand, I don't give. Period. That is my rule of thumb. But also, I also investigate, and typically it ends up being that I don't know you, so no. Sometimes if it's something where if it's local and someone's like, help this person out, clothes or something like that, that's different. But as far as being scammed online and stuff, you just guys got to just be careful, because people nowadays, you can, as we can see, people can borrow folks' kids, put them up on the internet and scam, and you're out of money. Period. So what was the next thing? Oh, so we were talking about, so the next thing we were talking about, like I said, is the different Delta variants. COVID, a lot of people want to say, oh, COVID is back. Y'all, I'm here to tell you, COVID never left. COVID never left. Pam says, I never give online. Neither do I. Like I said, I'll give to an influencer or something like that, super chat, sticker. But you have to be, it can't just because you're good looks or because you say to give. I have to be getting something out of it for sure. I don't have a problem doing that. But I have to know them firsthand or know that what they're doing is legit. If you just showing up on the scene talking about you're a YouTuber or whatever, and you got one half of the video, not happening. So back to Miss 19. So she hasn't been anywhere. She's still here. And there's so many misconceptions and I don't know, misstated facts, I should say, untruths that's going on about this COVID that, everybody's just all over the place. And my advice to you is just really, really do your research, not just research on resources that you know and you believe in, but also resources that will extend your mind. It's like, I will click on the crazy videos. I may not stay there, but I want to hear what people are saying. And it's very, very interesting, because people really thought that some people really thought that COVID is gone. COVID never left, y'all. It never left. If you're among that group where you're like, oh my God, it's getting bad again, child, yes, it is getting bad again. That is true. But COVID never left. When the vaccine came into play and developed under the Trump administration, because, that's when it happened. When that was developed under the Trump administration and when it began to be distributed, there was never a promise of the eradication of COVID, in a sense of, if you get the shot, you will not get COVID. No one ever said that. Now, here's the thing. I'm not an advocate or whatever. I have no nickel in your dime for your body. Do whatever it is that you feel like you need to do. That's why I don't say one way or another on this channel, because I know that the information is out there. If you want the proper information, it is out there. I know when I was researching it, I went to the actual clinical trials website for the actual vaccines. I went to where the data was at, the actual data for everything, because being with my major, I'm used to researching and finding out case studies and all of that. So I went to the source of everything. And if your source is whatever your source is, you choose not to get the vaccine, whatever, I know this isn't what we were talking about, but the criminalization of people and demonizing people to make choices for their own body, whether it's for the good or the detriment of the whole, I believe in personal responsibility, whatever that looks like. I am not here for the criminalization of people that are or are not vaccinated. We've got to stop that. This may sound harsh, but at the end of the day, if the numbers, if the data is suggesting if you don't get vaccinated, bad things are going to happen. Unfortunately, it's probably going to take a lot of bad things to happen to a lot of people in order for other people to be influenced. And I'm telling you right now, the people that I know that are anti-vax for whatever reason, I don't judge them one way or another. But what I will say is, the stories that are coming out of people passing away or whatever because they weren't vaccinated, that's not swaying people one way or another. And I'm completely okay with that. I'm completely okay with freedom of choice, which leads me to my next part. So with this, what we're talking about is, are you guys planning for Christmas? Are you planning trips for fall? We normally travel around that time. I don't think I am. I know I'm not. I'm not even wasting my good earned money putting a down payment on anything. Let's see. So let's talk about that. COVID never left. People want it to leave, but it hasn't. And here's the thing. If you are in the medical field and you know anyone in the medical field, then you know COVID has never left, but you also know that it is getting bad. It is getting bad. I read, and I think I have something up here that I'll click on. Hey, Monica, good to see you. Hola, hola, hola. No one ever said that you wouldn't catch the virus if you see the shots. People did. Exactly. And I'm just clearing that up. And I think that is frustrating a lot of people. I think that I love how stuff like this, whether it's COVID or whatever, I don't know, whatever. I love when something happens, and I'm sure there's a word for it. I love when there's an experience that opens our eyes to a global, to a greater experience. So in other words, I like the fact that our conversation about health and vaccines and all of that has been enlightened as a result of this. Whether you take the vaccine or not, because before there was a small group of people that were like, nope, I don't vax my kids. And that's where the conversation ended. And we were like, okay, you do, you don't, whatever. But now there's such a conversation surrounding this being vaccinated or not. And then you have people, and I even thought about it. You know, there was one thing that made me go, okay, now that was true. It was talking about the vaccination passport. And it was talking about someone said, people are upset because they may have to start showing their vaccination passport in order for their kids to go to school or whatever. And they said it was a meme. And then it was like, funny, that's been happening for years. And I thought about it. I was like, it sure has been happening. Y'all, it's a shot record. That's all it is. But I think because it's tied to COVID, it's white, it's a separate thing, and all this other stuff. It's like, ooh, vaccine passport, vaccine. Where am I getting that from? Vaccination passport. Y'all, it's just a shot record. We've been having to prove our shots for years now. For years. But because it's related to COVID, everyone's having a problem with it. And it's in there. Now, we haven't had to prove our shots to go to the grocery store or to whatever, but to work in certain places. I know as a teacher, even work in different places around different people, you have to prove that you had certain vaccines. But the conversation is really hyperbolized because it's surrounding COVID or whatever. So let's discuss it. But like I said, part of the conversation is, for me, I'm not planning anything this fall because I think by the fall, it's going to be a hot, funky, moving mess. I'm telling you, I'm not going nowhere. People use social media as their news source. It can be one news source, but I hope that they don't use that as their sole news source. Like, you got to keep investigating. They reopened things too soon. I agree 100%. But that was all economics. The previous president was not going to let his presidency, his economy be affected by this recession or whatever that happened as a result of COVID-19. It wasn't going to happen on his watch. They never shut everything down in the U.S. And I personally, my personal belief, as much of a problem that will be as far as, you know, just a global shutdown, and as much as, and when I say problem, just simply we're just not used to it, period. But gauging by the amount of money that's coming from our government to the people, you may as well shut everything down. Just have a timeout. Just have a timeout. China shut down totally, and you don't hear nothing from China. Nope. There was a lot of countries that shut down, and their numbers are looking good. Joanne says, not planning on big gatherings no time soon. Nope. No time soon. I don't think I'm going to be getting on a plane anytime soon. And depending on where, road trips, I don't know. But as far as major gatherings and stuff like that, we've already decided not going to happen. I love traveling for Christmas. I love having people for Thanksgiving, but it's just not worth the risk for me. That's just me. So with that being said, leave a comment down below. If any of you as subscribers, you do realize that it's serious. Do I have anybody in here that's just like, this is all a hoax? You guys are sheep. You believe in everything that they're saying. There's no such thing as COVID. Leave a respectful comment down below and no one's going to attack you. I'm just curious because I do know there's a level of people that believe that. So Monica says, rewind the tape from when Trump was in office. He gave a specific estimate number of deaths due to COVID. They didn't reach those numbers. So here comes super COVID population control at its finest. You think so? Okay. So Monica, you might be one of the ones. So do you believe COVID is real? And you believe it's as dangerous as it is? Let me know if that's what you're saying. Like it was constructed and man orchestrated it. And that's one of the things that I definitely said. It feels like I wouldn't be surprised if it was something that was meant to be some sort of warfare tool. Absolutely. Because we're seeing something like this virus, it seems to have a mind of its own, for lack of a better term. So it's the way it's attacking specific things and doing specific things. It's almost like it was designed specifically to do that. I that's the best way I can explain it. Yes, good point. Not planning on gatherings anytime soon. People can't handle it. It's also the people. Okay. Yes, because I know when your states had little small shutdowns, people were either not going for it or they were losing their mind. And they were like, nope, don't want to do it. But that is, to me, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't believe in, I don't believe in pressuring people one way or another. I don't believe in criminalizing, demonizing, trivializing people that got the vaccine or didn't get the vaccine. Mind your business. What happened to my body, my choice? I am a firm believer on that because like I was telling my husband, and we have this conversation all the time. I say, here's the thing. I don't want this. This can catapult so much because people, the government, whoever can mandate anything and put science behind it. So for an example, I don't want anybody telling me I have to get a vaccine. I don't want nobody telling me I have to get this, which is going to lead to the next part of the conversation because it's the vaccine now, but then next, you know what? And it sounds extreme. It really does. But think about it. 2 years ago, if someone would have told us that COVID was coming and this was going to happen and all this other stuff, we would have thought they were crazy. 9/11, we would have thought they were crazy. So what I'm going to say is going to sound extreme, but I just believe in it 100%. It's the COVID shot today, making people take it because it helps everybody and it helped the team. You trying to take my uterus next, telling me every other boy. I mean, it actually happened in certain places. This is how the Japanese in America ended up in concentration camps. Like, we have to be careful when we're talking about mandating. That's not what our country is founded on. And I just believe it. Now, do I believe the science that if more people get vaccinated, all this other stuff, will it help? Allegedly, it will. So I get that. But this is America. We're just not designed to be influenced by mandates like that. So that's just my take on it. They whined and complained about it. Child, they whined and complained here about them hot 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I wouldn't mind a real shutdown. Superstar, you know what? I wouldn't either because I think this is going to sound strange. Barring people's personality or their mental issues and stuff like that, me personally, I love my home. I love the life that we created. I love the person that I wake up to and our little people. So for us to be stuck in the house, not stuck in the house because I don't want it to, I don't look at it that way. But for us to have to quarantine in the house and stuff like that, that wouldn't bother me at all. So run me my groceries, run me whatever I need to run. We're going to watch our Netflix, keep my internet up and all that. We're good to go. But I think more so than pushing vaccines on people that don't want it, the answer might possibly be just a complete and total shutdown because we've seen it work in other countries. And the other part about that is I'm really upset about this money that's just coming from the government. And not because I'm hating one way or another. It's just, I don't think we can afford that. I just don't think we can afford to just continue to have all these stimulus packages and continuation and stuff. As much as I think it's a blessing for people, I just don't think that we can go on like that as a country for the next 5 to 10 years or whatever. The best solution is sit everybody down somewhere and have a timeout. Sit down somewhere. But we all know, unless you're going to enforce it with the curfew, the guard, and everything else, child, people are going to be out. April's laughing. I definitely feel like it was organized. Yeah, it's because we all know, like, things are designed in places for warfare that we don't even have access to, and it's so top secret and everything else. And I just think that it got out of hand. Yes, definitely. I feel and know COVID is real, but I pay close attention. I listen to what they were saying and what they were not saying, and specific numbers estimated. I just can't get past that. So yes, it's planned, but real. Gotcha. Absolutely. And I can respect that. And I think that a lot of people definitely have that same mindset. I love the fact I just am not, and I'll click on the next picture that I want to talk about because it ties into this. I'm just not with, let me see if I can find it. Nope, we'll talk about that. So here it is. Which would drive you to leave your workplace more? So we're going to add this to the conversation. Mandated vaccines, or having a vaccine mandate, or not implementing a vaccine mandate. Which would drive you to leave your jobs? So what I'm seeing more is more and more companies are saying, you know what, you will be vaccinated. I'm seeing that more and more and more. Like, you're going to be vaccinated by November 1st. Some people it's September. Some people, you know what, immediately or whatever. Some people, either you're going to be vaccinated or you're going to be tested often. Which one is it? The vaccine mandate? Was concerned. What's your deal breaker? And then let's go through the comments. I definitely believe it's real. Okay, yeah. I think we're all saying the same thing. I think we all in America pretty much on one level or another, there's a group of us that believe the same thing. I think the divide comes in whether you got the vaccine or not, or whether you're going to get the vaccine or not. And my conversation is, and will always be, mind your business. Unless you come into my house, I want to know so we can figure it out, mask, no mask, or okay. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. You get to talking about the vaccine, you get to talking about stuff, and I'm having problems buffering and stuff like that. So they hear what we're talking about and they know. So hit the like button. Like. It's funny because drama sells, drama gets you hundreds of thousands of millions of subscribers, but when you have a channel that's about something, they have a problem with it and people want to flag it and all this other stuff. So anyway, what's a deal breaker for you? Is it the mandate on your job to be vaccinated? If your job says, oh, you have to be vaccinated, are you out of there? The lack of mandates, what's going on? I was listening to a nurse online. She was saying people don't realize most people don't die from COVID. It's absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. It's never, 9 times out of 10, it's never the actual virus or the actual disease or the actual whatever. Like, you don't die from whatever, you die from the complications of that disease, because, you can say, yeah, COVID, but they caught COVID, but as a result of catching COVID, their organs failed, their breathing failed, that whole thing. Absolutely correct. The U has left the genie out the bottle and now trying to put it back in, going to be very, very difficult. That's my other point. That's the other part. Like, they had a better chance 6 months ago to say, we're going to mandate a shutdown and this is what we're going to do. You had a better chance back then, But now these people are wide open. And so as much as we all agree, you know what, yeah, we can benefit from a shutdown, this is just a mess. I believe in a shutdown, but I don't believe in a vaccine. Okay. Does anyone believe the vaccine is a chip? I don't believe there's a chip in the vaccine. I think that we are being tracked by these little things better than any chip in our body could track us. Yeah, they don't need to put chips in us. These cell phones, they track these. Listen, when someone nowadays gets arrested, they're looking for somebody, whatever. Cases are being solved as a result of this cell phone. You pinged at this tower close to where the murder was, blah, 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 blah. They don't need to put a chip in the vaccine, but I don't think that there's a chip. That's just me personally. I don't think there's a chip in it. Does anyone believe? Okay, wait. I'm better prepared for another shutdown if it happens. Good. I was prepared for the first one. I was okay. We were literally okay. Because I think part of me is I am such an introvert in a sense, and I do enjoy being home. And I'm gonna make the most of it. So mentally, I was literally okay because whatever we did or wanted to do, we just knew it would still be there, and it was shut down anyway. So it wasn't like, oh, we really want to go to California, but California was still open. So it wasn't like a mental trip. Like, man, should we go this weekend or whatever? Like it is now. Like now, the mental trip is now because it's like, dang, I want to fly to Florida. Oh, I want to fly to Hawaii or whatever. And you're just like, no, we can't do it. So to me, there's more of a mental trip without the quarantine or the shutdown. I'm for a complete shutdown, but if it happens, how do we make money to pay bills? Exactly, Jackie. That's my point. Because here's the thing, I don't know if the different stimuluses that is being sent out, I think that's only for people with children and certain income brackets. So there's not relief for everyone. So that's that part. And typically speaking, when you think about Canada and certain European countries and other countries that may have global healthcare and stuff like that, they can afford to shut down because they're already taking care of their people and whatever. In America, we're just like, oh, we want our cake and eat it too. We want to have all these self-sufficient people and all this other stuff. But, it's socialism until it's the big companies. Then it's not socialism. Let's bail them out. So I agree with you 100%, Jackie. And I really don't know what the solution is because money is being dished out like between PPP, LPP, not LPP, but I'm just saying small business loans, grants, unemployment, rent moratorium. Child, please. Yep. I'm comfortable and within my faith and walk with God. Yes, this is planned. Yes, COVID is real, but all in all, God has the final say so, period. God has the final say so. And like I said, and I will continue to say, he has the ultimate say so, and we need to make sure that we're doing the practical things, washing our hands, wearing our masks, doing whatever we need to do to help his providence. Absolutely. Providential ways. The Spanish flu was deadly. It ended after 2 years, but estimated death 500 million, and they bounced back some even better. Yes, but that was very detrimental. And see, that's the thing. I'm not the type of person to just listen to what whoever says. I'm going to research. And so, of course, I went back and looked at the Spanish flu, and believe it or not, if you go back and research the Spanish flu, you go back and you look at the pictures from those times, they were fighting about masks back then. The pets were masked back then. I saw a cat and a dog had a mask on. I was like, come on, Fido. Like, they were serious, but more importantly, you saw the propaganda, for the lack of a better term. You saw the advertisement. You saw all of that. If you go back and research, and it literally the same conversations that we're having now during this major pandemic, the same conversations, the same debates were happening back then. You had the maskers, you had the unmaskers, the vaccine, none of it, whatever. And so it's just very, very interesting how history sort of repeats itself. But the thing is, what are we learning? What are we learning? I'm with you on that, Monica. I have a problem with the mandate. Okay, what you have a problem with the mandate of you must be vaccinated. So those of you in healthcare, those of you that are working as teachers and some state employees, I've even read some articles. Is it being mandated in your company? Because it's not even just healthcare workers, Walmart, different places. You will be vaccinated by September, blah, 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 or November, blah, blah, blah. Is that a deal breaker for you? Now, I know, most people can't just up and quit their jobs, but there are some people that's being reported that they're like, adios, I'm not doing it. Like, you're not going to make me. And I'm going to tell you straight up. I personally am not the type where I'm such a rebel that when you tell me I have to do something, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to do it. And that's the honest to God truth. You're not going to make me do it unless I want to do it. But if I have a strong conviction about not doing something and you're like, oh, well, if you want to work here, you got to do it, I wouldn't do it. I'm telling you right now. That's just me in my rebellion. I'm a very rebellious person as far as that's concerned. You ain't gonna make me do nothing. Like, I'm so rebellious. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna say that example, but yeah. I was gonna say, if I'm busy, whatever, and someone's calling me or whatever, like, you ain't gonna make me pick up my phone. Like, I'm busy. That's me. Some folks simply cannot sit at home. I understand that completely. There are some people that just aren't content at home. They can't sit at home. They don't want to sit at home. That doesn't make the fact that I'm okay sitting at home wrong or right or whatever. We're all individuals, and that's the thing that I try to make sure that I come across as someone that really believes in personal liberties and personal choice and personal preferences. That's all what it boils down to. My husband hated it in the sense, like, he didn't mind being home. We spent so much time together and all of that. That was nice. But at the same time, he's an outdoor person. Like, he wants to go. He's a go. And I'm like, nope, let's nap. But that's, so I totally get it. There are those who had their jobs and schooling serve as an escape from the domestic violence. Absolutely. I thought about the kids. Think about, you're talking about domestic violence. What about the kids where that lunch was the only decent meal that they got in a day? I felt bad for those kids during the mandated shutdowns. The kids that were being abused at home. So now they're home with their abusers all day. Absolutely was on my heart the entire time. Many rely on school as childcare. Absolutely. Many people rely on school as childcare, just a break. I'm not going to say everybody has to be the mother of the year or have the emotional fortitude to be around it. Everybody doesn't have the same resilience to be around their kids all day or whatever. So that's where we have to make it normal to be able to depend on one another, to be able to pick up the phone and say, hey, I just can't cope, so that your friend, your loved one, don't end up on a news channel for hurting their kids and stuff like that. We need to normalize, hey, I need a break. I feel in the last shutdown, us frontline workers got snubbed. Absolutely. I feel like you got snubbed, ignored, and because I think that people working other jobs got more compensation, they got more supplement of income and everything else than you guys, and y'all were working the front lines. Y'all need hazardous pay as far as I'm concerned. I believe that 100%. 100%. Most people can work from home. Yes, some jobs have now transferred into working from home. That's one of the reasons why I left the state, because I wanted to work from home, and they were just trying to give me 2 days from home. Well, what's the point? Or 2 or 3 days or whatever. And I'm like, what's the point of that? And then boom, maybe about 6 months later, the pandemic hit, and then everybody was home doing the exact same job, but from home. But I'm glad it happened, because it catapulted me to where I wanted to be instead of where, doing that. We got some agreements. April says, wow. Then you have those who are suffering from some sort of trauma and can't sit at home. Absolutely blessed. There's some people that can't sit at home because of whatever trauma, whatever. They run amok in public places. I call that, and I don't mean that any disrespect, but I call it like people are unsettled. Like, they're unsettled. They can't be at home. Some people don't find their home a peaceful place. Vaccine mandate is an issue for me. Okay, we talked about that. I was talking to a client today. She said that one of her girlfriends got fully vaccinated and got COVID and passed away on Monday. Probably so. It's very possible. No mandate for Texas public schools. Very good. That's good to know. I hadn't heard anything about Texas public schools. A lot of the public schools are mandating masks, going against the governor's request. What do y'all think about these governors? Who was that? Was that DeSantis that was like, oh, I'm holding paychecks and funds from districts and employees that implement a mask mandate? Tell me what you think about that. Don't touch people money. Don't play like that, because in a minute, you're not going to have healthcare workers and you're not going to have teachers. Don't play with people's coins like that, because honestly, in some districts, in some states, teachers can go work for other places and make way more than what they make as a teacher. When I say other places, I mean retail stores and stuff like that. So don't do that. Now you're taking it too far. Trust, I take proper precautions, wear my mask. Hell, I even we talked about this. I'm the healthcare worker, but if it's definite, I have to get it. I'm out. The Lord will provide. You're not gonna make me take that vaccine. You're not gonna do that. That's taking it too far. Now, again, going back to the conversation that I had before, when you get certain jobs, I know working with children, they want to make sure you have the TB test. I had to get the TB test every week and all this other stuff. Not every week. What am I talking about? Before you on board, you take the TB test. They want to make sure you have the MMR series, just different things. So, people can say, hey, it's the same thing as that. Like before you got on your job, you had to prove that you had certain vaccines and stuff like that. So you do have some people arguing that, but the flip side of that is typically people can opt out of some of those vaccines. I just don't like the mandate, period. There will always be those people that do not study, but listen to someone that haven't did any homework. Exactly, Medell. And that's why you have to do the research on your own. And that's just the bottom line. You have to do your research. All right, y'all. I have a super chat from Monica. Thank you so much, Monica. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I told y'all, I mentioned super chats and super stickers, maybe once every 8 videos, because I literally love doing this. This is, a hobby, career type thing. This is, this is me. This is what I like to do. But it really blesses me when people, see the gift and just want to sew into my channel for whatever that means. And so I really appreciate that. And I don't take it lightly, because I know how I am about my money. I ain't dropping no money just for anybody. So I really, really appreciate that, girly. Hell, I was working with COVID in a nursing home daily. Yet certain people on unemployment was getting more than me as far as finance-wise, doing absolutely nothing. That's what I'm saying. I think the frontline workers, the people that were in, absolute frontline, and I mean even grocery store workers. Like if you're going to keep your grocery store open, I was coming in there shopping and everything else. They needed to be paid hazardous pay, just like you pay the military and everything else, because there were hazards in the fact that the people were coming in, period. The end, point blank. I agree 100%. I think that is the reason why so many people in the past year ended up killing their own whole families, pregnant significant others, and even themselves. It was rough. I know there was a lot of stories during the pandemic, during the shutdown. It was rough. It was really, really rough for a lot of people. And I don't judge that, just because I'm okay at home, just because my household is okay and everything. Like I said, I had one kid who really was like itching, like he wanted to go play basketball, this and that and the other, and all this other stuff. And then she was okay or whatever. But, even I would always check in with them as teenagers, say, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Because I couldn't imagine, like I've never lived through a pandemic to where I'm now isolated in the house. This some darn, Germany Reich stuff, some Anne Frank up in the attic type stuff. Like, regardless of the type of home that we built and everything else, it surely had to have taken some sort of toll on our children. And so throughout the time, I just did brain checks. Like, hey, how you doing? What's going on? You feel okay? You want to, do you feel like you want to walk around? You want to go somewhere? You want to go to the mall real quick? Whatever. But the mall was shut down. But I'm just saying, like, you get my point. Like, I was checking in with them to see, okay, how are you feeling? Because around that time, kids were threatening themselves. They was like, it was a mess. So I agree. Like, just because I feel like my life is one way and someone isn't, doesn't make us better. It just makes us different. I love your show. Thank you, Daryl. I've seen you here before. Thank you so much. I love that you love my show. I put in a lot of work. I think put in a lot of thought. I put in a lot of equipment and everything else to just come live and share and have a conversation with you guys, be entertaining. And the channel is growing as a result of it. And I'm just going to continue to be a positive light on this channel, on this platform, which is YouTube and Facebook. So absolutely. Thank you, Daryl. First of all, I feel like these governors say all this. What will they say when their family members that has to be on a ventilator? Well, Sunshine, there was something that I came across the other day that was very interesting. Speaking of governors, all these governors that are threatening mandates and no mandates, and I'm going to take your pay if you don't, if you override what I said, which is no mask and all this other stuff. Do you know DeSantis and the rest of them, their children are going to a private school where masks are mandated? I don't pay these people no attention. I don't listen to these people. You have to do what's best for you, because if you think that the government, the governor, or anybody else is going to have your best interest, absolutely not. It all goes down to the mighty dollar. And that's what it all boils down to. That's all 45 was about, was the almighty dollar and what was going to help his presidency appear or to be the best financially, in the best financial state. So these people will lie, cheat, steal, and everything else. Half of them are already vaccinated. While they're dogging the vaccine, dogging people that got it, dogging people that didn't get it, they're vaccinated themselves. They're not implementing mask mandates. The masks are horrible, all this other stuff, but yet they're sending their children to places that have masks. Floods coming into their cities, hurricanes and everything else, and they running off to Mexico. Don't be listening to these people. They don't have your best interest at hand. See, exactly, girl. When I saw that, I was like, I know you lying, but I know you're not. I know it's the truth, because that's how hypocritical they are. And here's the thing. I don't put my stock. I ain't gonna lie. I trust Michelle Obama. I really do. I trust her. I trusted her as a sister. All this evilness that they're trying to paint her out to be and all this other stuff, I trusted her as a sister. But when I think about anybody else in politics, all these governors and all this other stuff, I don't trust that they have my best interests at heart. They don't. And that's why I look out for myself to make decisions that I make for myself. I ain't listening to one of them. None of them. I'm gonna do my research. Monica says, child, all this talk about this virus, hell nah. I'm not talking the vaccine, but I'm about to take the immune system boosting vitamin. Yep. I started doing that too, because I stopped with the mask, not stop, but just kind of slowed down and stuff. But we back at it. I'm like, nope, because the kids are back in school now. We're moving more. And so I was like, yep, and we about to get back on the vitamins and everything else. And I know so many other people that are starting to build up their immune system and boost their immune system, because I'm telling you, between Lollapalooza last weekend, Sturgis this weekend, all these other variants doing what they're doing, and then we're not even talking about Labor Day weekend. Let me tell you, I believe September, October, November, it's going to be a hot mess. And all y'all planning to fly here, do that, this vacation, that, it's not going to happen. Mark my words, it's going to be a hot mess. And I think it's also going to get to the point where some states are going to require some sort of COVID testing, maybe at the least, before you enter, or before you enter the state. They can't do it if you're driving. I don't think like you'll hold up lines doing that, but we're just going to see times and things change, personally. And I think because we're so anti everything, things are going to get worse before they get better. That's what I believe. That's just what I believe. Who else washes or sanitizes everything that they bring to their homes? Mail, everything. Amazon packages, everything. Absolutely anal Alyssa over here for sure. I don't trust them either. No, you can't. You can't. I'm happy that Biden isn't Trump, but Biden doesn't own my path in life. And I was doing well under Trump. I was doing well before Trump, doing well after Trump. So I don't place my success or whatever on these people. Now I do understand certain professions, educators and stuff like that. It really, really sometimes depends on who's in office, because they'll take that funding, education and education funding or whatever, and it does affect their job. But I mean, globally speaking, we should be okay no matter who's in office, but also don't look at these people as our saviors to save the day, whatever your political affiliation is, because that's when you get the super crazy people like the extreme Trump supporters. I'm big on sanitizing, especially with having 2 kids. Got to keep us safe. Yes. I do our handrails every week, like everything. I spray. And when I go around spraying the Lysol every 2 nights or whatever, because I have the one where they say it's good for 24 hours, the Microban or something like that, hospital grade. I have the Lysol, I have the alcohol, I have it all. I do a live with some alcohol right here every now and then. My nerves get bad. I do this, whatever. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm the random person. Most people don't even touch the hand sanitizer things no more. I pass by it. If it's a good smelling kind, I'll use it, but I have some attached to my purses. Yes, I agree 100%. The Sturgis event is the one for the bikers. Yes, that's this weekend, I want to say. This week. So we're on the heels of all these big events. And then Hollywood's doing what they're doing. I think some award show is coming, VMAs, I think. I don't know. But they're having their award shows. Life is just la, 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 la. There you go. So I don't know. Like I said, I wanted to talk to you guys because I wanted to see what you guys thought was a deal breaker for you on these jobs. If they mandate a mask mandate, are you quitting because of that? Are you quitting if they take it further and say you have to be vaccinated if you are anti-vaxxer? Are you going to quit if they say, you know what, you don't have to be, it's testing too much for you? Is that your deal breaker where you're like, you know what, I'll wear my mask, but you're not going to be testing me every week? Where's your breaking point as far as I'm out of here on this job? Because that's what's being reported, that a lot of people are jumping ship. And I think a lot of people, I don't think the mask mandates are causing people to jump ship, because I think people should be used to wearing masks, I think. But there's still a level of people that, take great pride in the fact that they don't wear masks, and masks are whatever. Like, I know people like that personally. And it's whatever. But if your job mandates you have to take a vaccine and you're not someone that has already taken it and you don't want to take it, is that your deal breaker? What about the fact that they say, okay, you don't have to be vaccinated, but we're going to test you as often as we like? How do you feel about that? These people out here in the town in Texas, I'm in looks at me like I'm from outer space with me doing the sanitation and precautions. In Texas, girl, I know you're getting it. Here it's a mixture, but you have more people that are wearing masks than not. So that's good. But we do it anyway. But we were out yesterday and there were more people wearing masks than it wasn't. And the thing about it is, there's people, like I said, it's a sense of pride for them, and who they are, and who they support. And they act like they're hurting you because they're not wearing a mask. And I'm like, you idiot, I could care less. And that's the way I feel about the vaccine. Don't make me take it, and don't be criminalizing people that has taken it. Like, let's just live and do what we continue to do. Like, no one goes around and goes, hey, are you on a pill? You on a pill? Hey, are you whatever? So keep that just as private, unless it specifically has to do with you becoming in contact with that person. We all should assume at the end of the day that everybody got COVID. So wear your mask when you're out in public and we'll be fine. I believe that. Yep. Boom, boom, boom from Monica. So yeah, that was one of the great conversations, like I said, which would more likely cause you to quit your job, because people are really beginning to jump ship. And I think that a lot of healthcare workers, because it's really becoming mandated across the board for people who work in the healthcare. So it's going to be interesting to see if people are going to begin to um, leave their jobs, you know? So what's this? Nearly 300 teachers and staff members tested positive for COVID-19 in Mississippi in the first week of school. So this is another thing. Nearly 1K Mississippi students test positive during the first week of school. Okay, so a thousand students test positive, 300 teachers and staff members out of that thousand tested positive. So that district has a problem. But the thing is, I think that's very common. I think that it's happening quite often throughout the United States as we open. The vaccine is not available to a lot of the children, and a lot of people are not allowing their kids to get the vaccine, which is their choice and which is their child's choice. So, y'all, we are in a conundrum. Like we have a problem. This is a problem. This is a state of emergency, and I don't know how this is going to be solved. I said this last night. I hate to be the person in the position that has to make these decisions, because I don't want to piss the non-maskers off. But at the same time, a decision has to be made. And when you're sending these kids back to school, teachers are, initially, I think it was last year when that debate, should we go back? Should we go virtual? Should we da? And a lot of teachers were chiming in like, okay, you're talking about families. You're talking about the children, but what about us as the teachers? We are teachers with our own family members. And it's very interesting because as a teacher, as people that have family members as teachers and administrators, but also friends as teachers and administrators, I see both sides. I see the freedom of saying, you know what, let people decide. But when you're talking about having your kids go to school, be with the teachers and stuff like that, and 9 times out of 10, not having the protection, definitely being the little carriers, the kids are the carriers. But the other thing that's coming out in the news is that the kids are the ones that are critical these days. Like a lot of the children are critical. So what do we do, y'all? What do we do? This will never end because people complain too much. Yeah. And part of the complaining is the fact that we know our rights as America. It's the Achilles heel of being an American, of being a state of freedom and justice. We like to apply that when and how we choose and when we can, especially as Black Americans. We like to apply it, that freedom, whenever, however we can, when it works for all and for us. And I just firmly believe, like, okay, it's Walmart's and everyone else's right to mandate if they choose that their worker, you can do what you want to do. But me as a worker, that would be a deal breaker for me. If I was the type that want those mandates to come to pass, but then now you're messing with people's bread and butter. And then, think about the teachers. I think about the teachers. I think about the administration. I think about the coaches. My kids are in these sports, and I see the breakouts on the different teams and stuff like that. It's hard. It's a hard thing to choose. What is it that we're going to do for your family? And the best thing you could do is just really evaluate and say, where are we? What do we need to do? What mitigation practices we need to implement to make sure that we're all going to remain safe? That's just all that we can do. That's all we can do. And then not criminalize each other for making whatever decision that we're going to make. You had, because there wasn't a hard shutdown, you had some people upset that some people were traveling and some people weren't. Of course, globally speaking, yes, as a whole, all that moving around and all that does not help the situation. You had some people mad because sports were still going on and people were sending their kids to sports. And then we were the weirdos that didn't let our kids go to sports no more. So what do you do? What do you do? You don't care. You just do whatever you need to do for your family. That's what it all boils down to me. If they were to shut down, how long do you think it should be? And I see someone answered 6 months. I would say, dang, 6 months is a long time. I would say, first of all, leave a comment down below if you've heard from the experts how long they think it should be, because they're the ones that know. I know that there's this great thing to discredit Fauci and this one and that one, whatever. But at the end of the day, these people are the experts. Now, I do have a problem with the fact that Fauci and Burke and the rest of them knew the BS that they knew, and instead of but they wanted their bag. They weren't about to mess up their bag, but is that really a person of integrity when you knew certain things were a lie, or you knew certain things were happening or being said, and you didn't say, I can't condone this. The virus is this, this is this, this is this. Or you just placate the emperor with no pants on, because that's all that whole entire administration did. Supported the emperor without his pants and told him he was the best. And he was fully clothed and everything was wonderful. And now everybody wants to have books and all this other stuff to kind of discredit Trump. And I'm like, I really want to give him the middle finger, because I don't want to hear it. So anyway, to answer your question, 6 months at the most, 2 to 3 months at the least. Because I think at 2 to 3 months, a total shutdown, which I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what that would look like, because where will we get our food from? Does the grocery store open up a certain time? Like who's still going to be open? Obviously, your hospitals will still be open. But again, is that a real total shutdown if the hospitals are still open and our frontline workers are still working? But we still need food. You're still going to need gas, whether you like it or not. So I don't know. I did not research what a total shutdown looked like in other countries. Now, in China, they shut that mess down. Like, they shut it down. And the thing about it is, I saw a documentary. China was shut down, and they kept the markets open. And in order for you to go to the market, I think they had, I don't want to be dramatic because I wanted to say they had coupons, food coupons, but I don't know. Don't quote me on that part, but I do remember seeing that they did. No, that was probably just the regular money that they were given. But I did see that you had to have a certain temperature in order to be able to go in to the market, and you had to go to the market and take your butt back home. And if you were found even peeking out your door in China, they was coming to get your behind. Like, especially if you were said to have COVID, you could not even peek out your door. So that would be interesting. What do you think an actual shutdown would look like? I know, like I said, hospitals and definitely the grocery stores, they'd have to remain open. But I don't know other than China, I don't know what other countries have done. But I do know China shut it down. Like, there was nobody on the roads or anything. And like I said, a lot of my students were in China. And when they were on shutdown, they were in the house the entire time. And I would gauge, when you're talking to your students or whatever, and you're asking them different questions or whatever, I would kind of get, because I know that their government is listening to us or whatever. So I would just be like, hey, did you play with your friends today? No. Did you go to the park today? What'd you do today? Oh, I just colored, watched TV or whatever. So that let me know, okay, they still on shutdown. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. But I think 3 months, 2 to 3 months at the least, 6 months at the most. 6 is extreme. And I would say evaluate after the 3 months to see if you need to see if it's working, or what we need to do to go to this, to see if we need to do 6 months. Either you're going to take the vaccine or have a shutdown. I think it's going to come to that. I think ultimately it's going to come to that. That's what I mean. I think by September, October of this year, it's going to be so bad, because it's already bad, y'all. I'm hearing every day of someone different passing away. Like, it's kind of like when COVID first was discovered. Okay. And so it's bad. It's bad, y'all. But anyway, I think that it's going to get worse. And then it's going to be, oh crap, we need to shut down. Because here's what I believe. If the amount of people that aren't vaccinated right now, that number is not going to increase so much to where it makes a difference. As far as herd immunity or whatever else that however you call it, to happen. I don't think there's going to be enough people that to change their mind. Right now, you're dealing with the hardcore people that are like, F you and your vaccine, because it's not happening over here. Period. I'm in Texas. My big sis lives in California. It's amazing the difference in situations, restrictions, precautions via state by state situation. I think everything needs to be slowed down for real, for real. Monica, I can see the difference as well with family in Texas, with family in Florida, living in Arizona and living very close and doing a lot of travel to California. I can tell you the difference. Now, one thing that I saw as a pattern, I don't know if anybody else saw this as a pattern, and hopefully nobody in the FBI is watching, but I'm a very smart cookie like you, Monica, in the sense I observe and I watch everything. And if you paid attention when during the previous administration, once I realized that all the governors were on a phone call every week with the previous president, I said, oh, that makes sense. What you see is a pattern. And I'm going to tell you straight up, all these governors know what they're doing. They all talked about it on that phone call. They probably still had the phone call, because what I saw the pattern was Florida would say, just for an example, Florida would say, we're not going to have a rent moratorium. And then maybe a week later, my governor would say it. Then the next week, all the people that thought that there shouldn't be a rent moratorium, they'll come out the blue and say it. Then Texas will say it. So you could see the pattern of the conservative governors making decisions. When they made it very closely around each other and everything. And then the liberal governors would do the same. And it got to the point where if our governor would make a decision and I would be on the phone with my cousin in Florida and I'd be like, yeah, this is what's implemented. And I said, but you know what? Yours will probably be decided next week. And sure enough, right after, her state will do the same thing. And then Texas followed, but these are all conservative governors. We saw that a lot with the schools. When our school made a decision, I would tell my brother in Texas, y'all aren't far. And sure enough, the decision would be made. So it's not as chaotic or incongruent as they would want us to think. No, these people are in sync. They're on the phone talking about what they should do, how they should do it, and everything else. Period. The end. I believe that in the Bible, on many instances, God sent plagues to get the people's attention and bring them to repentance. I believe this is what's happening now, just my opinion. A lot of people believe that, Medell, and whether God sent it or not, it sure is getting a lot of people's attention. But a lot of people think that. I've heard that before, and you know, like I said, it's getting a lot of people's attention. A lot of people's attention about health. A lot of people's attention about what really matters. A lot of people's attention about family. A lot of people's attention about life insurance. A lot of that stuff. It's definitely getting a lot of attention, and I can't say if I see it getting attention from the standpoint of calling people to repentance. I know that God does do that, and I know people do find Christ in a lot of these situations, but I don't see that just yet on that regard. But it could be. Let's keep it real. People want their cake and eat it too, but it's getting ridiculous. I would rather deal with the mask and shutdown than deal with the mandate. Yep. And like I said, we just have the freedoms. We just have the freedoms that we're used to, period. We're not used to, generally speaking, the government saying, no, you can't go there. No, you can't go there. Yes, you can go there. Show us proof of this. We're used to showing proof for employment or whatever, but not to live, so to speak. So yeah. What else? So that's interesting. So are you making plans for the holidays, large gatherings, that whole thing? Joanne said she is not. So we'll see. Oh wait, I got more comments. I think that we need to shut down from fall through winter. Okay, so September, October, November. So that's 4 months. September to like December, January. Okay. If they do a shutdown, how long should it be? China did it the right way. It was not a joke. I saw it firsthand. I saw it firsthand with my students, but I also saw it because that was around the time where I was researching a lot of stuff or whatever. Yep. The grocery store should go back to having a maximum amount of people in the store at a time. We didn't have that here. Our grocery store never had that. We went in, we went out. But again, this is a conservative state, or used to be. But our governor is a Republican, and he was not trying to have that type of mandate. He's not going to implement any of those mandates. So that's the thing. I think when you talk about DeSantis, a Ducey, oh boy in Texas, you're really Republican governors that are really, really standing out as being the hardcore no, not happening. It's going to get bad for them before any type of mandate. They'll mandate anything. They're not doing that. I think we shut down gyms, obviously schools, grocery stores were open, bars, movie theaters were shut down. But not that long at all, because people began to fight and they were like, we have the right. And then he opened it back up. In conclusion, my big ass is my heart. All I'm going to do, my big sis is my heart. All I'm going to say is if my sister is affected by this, I'm on my way to California. No question. We all going to be hunkered down together. No cap. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So your sister's your heart. And if she needs you, you are headed to California to hunker down and ride it out with her. Nice. What I know by me living in Texas, the last state to do the right thing. Let that marinate. Oh, yeah. I know. Because Ducey is right behind him. No big holiday plans here. Same. Like I said, I personally think, and I've been right spot on in just looking at the waves and stuff like that. I think by the time November hits, let alone December, it's going to be pretty bad. Because again, I don't think enough people will be vaccinated to make a difference. No one, you're not going to convince a large population of people. You're just not. I don't care. You can offer them $100, $1,000, a trip to Maine, Red Lobster. It don't matter what you offer these people. They're going to take it and be like, no, so yeah, that's just that's my take on it. There's not going to be much of a difference between now and the fall. Who is this? Okay, we did Britney Spears and her father. I think, so yeah, this is the last thing we talked about, just in the schools, how it's traveling and all this other stuff. And I think the bottom line is that we just need to make sure that we are following whatever precautions we need to follow as for our families, period. You just have to do what's best for you and your family. My heart goes out to our domestic animals. At the beginning of the pandemic, the animal shelters ran out of animals. Once folks started working again, I saw the shelters full of abandoned animals. Yeah, I heard something about animals being strayed or given away and stuff like that, because we know most responsible pet owners, they're not going to just let them out the door. Some will, but most people will not just let their dogs out the door. And then, so they take them to the shelters and stuff. And so the shelters are overrun because, it costs money to take care of your pets. Hope those animals are okay, says Super Ram. Yes, absolutely. And so that's the other part, who I always thought about too, felt bad for the people in Monica. You saw this firsthand, people that lived in the nursing homes and stuff like that, or people just were in the hospital. People died alone. People died via FaceTime and their family and stuff. But I would think about it's bad enough. You got to send people send their older loved ones in their retirement age, not retirement, but their old age to retirement homes and stuff like that. But then to have them in their bubble where nobody can visit, And I just pray. I know that there are some people that work in those facilities that are absolutely awful, but I know that I think there's more great medical professionals than not. But I think about the people that didn't have anybody, that used to have their loved ones come all the time, and seeing each other through the plexiglass and through the windows and stuff like that. That was crazy. And the hospital no visitation rules, and yeah, that was crazy. Oh yeah, that was crazy as well. So in we forgot to discuss this. Maybe we'll leave that for tomorrow because we're already at 2 hours. But Coco and Coco and Ice-T decided to join in the no bath debate. They said they only shower. Coco said she only shower when she feels icky. That's just where she at. She said, say what you want to say. And since they came out with that story, there was another story today where they was like, we do not care. Yeah. So yeah, there's, like I said, there's another set of families, and I like the fact that The Rock came out and said, listen, I shower 3 times a day. Don't come at me with that. Sunshine says, my dad died in the hospital. We'll talk about it tomorrow. My dad died in the hospital. Lung crushed me. I bet it did. That was just the way it was, and it was horrible to think about. Like I said, I know someone that passed away, their husband, and it was like, oh, I got to speak to him on FaceTime, tell him I love him in his ear or whatever. And so you can only pray that there would be compassionate nurses on these wards, on these floors rather, to deliver final hours, final days, final months to people that is full of dignity, love, and as best as they can. So because of that, like I said, these people are true heroes, like for real. I'm so sorry, Sunshine. Super Graham is sending love and support. So y'all, if you're just tuning in and you're peeking in and you're like, wow, what are we talking about? We're talking about all kinds of stuff. So to catch up, you're going to have to catch the replay. But while you're catching the replay, make sure if you're on Facebook or YouTube that you hit the like button. It is absolutely free to do so. So, oh, really? You got to catch me up. You got to catch me up on that. I literally saw people one week lively, vibrant, and the other week literally laying there talking to their loved one through the window before they pass. Crazy. And that's what I don't take as a joke. People can turn the corner and then turn it back, and you'd be like, well, I thought they were getting better. It's crazy. And like you said, live and vibrant, and then on oxygen, this and that and the other, whatever. So yeah, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. I think we're gonna end there until tomorrow. Y'all come with y'all topics tomorrow. Y'all know how we do. I'm gonna come with whatever, but it's gonna be viewer led. Foolishness Friday. Come with your wine, your food, whatever we're gonna do, and we're just gonna make it happen. However long we're gonna have it. So we'll exactly. We do not care. We do not care. And then we'll have a good conversation tomorrow. Foolishness Friday, because I'm a table. Because let me tell you, every time we get to talking about COVID and the variants and plans and schools, like it changes every day. So every day we talk about it, so much more comes out of it. We have a good conversation, and we'll table Coco and Ice-T and Coco and the situation with the realtor and whatever else. We'll save that for tomorrow. Showers are taken over here. Yeah, we'll talk about this tomorrow, because like I said, when we get in this space, I don't want to disrespect Sunshine and her memory or anybody else, Monica and her experiences. Like I said, when we get to talking about COVID, so much comes out, and I want to make sure that we all have our say. We all have our opinions, and I love the fact that we can express them respectfully. You know, ultimately, we just do the best we can, what we think the best is for us and our family members. That's what it all boils down to. So we'll save all the other stuff, the showers and all of that. We'll save that for tomorrow. But in the meantime, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button. That's simple. Like if you don't want to know what the like button on the video is, it's the thing that look like this, you know, Facebook and YouTube. If you don't haven't already, hit the share button. That's the other one. It's the other button, and you just click it and you share the video. And the subscribe button. So you're like, oh my goodness, what does the subscribe button look like? What does she want me to hit the subscribe button for? The subscribe builds this channel. You know, the more you subscribe, the more the interaction, and the more YouTube recognizes, and the more I recognize, is like, you know what, keep going. So yeah, that's all I ask. That's all I ask. And I hear some of you, you're like, oh my goodness, the notification bell doesn't work. As after you click that bell, it's out of my hands. I don't control who sees what. We as content creators, we don't control that. And I know that it lags. Sometimes people don't get any of my notifications when I go live. I try to schedule them ahead of time so that you can see, okay, yes, she's definitely preview them so you'll know, okay, yes, she's definitely going live. But at the end of the day, when you hit the subscribe button, when you hit the notification, I can't control any of that. So if it's not working for you, all I can say is uncheck it and check it back. That's all I can say. So with that being said, let's do our little ticker. Subscribe, like, and share this video. And show you. Nope, I don't want to hit y'all with that. That was my old intro. It's time to make another intro, I think. I like my timer and everything, but I'm gonna make another intro. So anyway, y'all have a good night. Be blessed, be at peace, and be kind to yourself.